Dale considered his next words very carefully. Isaac was a good-looking kid, a youngest son who'd played on his parents' favor, and at 19, he'd perfected the appearance of penitence and contrition to get what he wanted. Manipulation was a game to him. There was no way around it. The young man was a catastrophe waiting to happen if he messed with Dale's computer system or if he created a side business by filching store inventory. And there was no refuting the long list of misdeeds folks from Coldstream would hold against Isaac either. But Dale's ad hadn't attracted any other potential employees. His store was out in the country, surrounded by farmland. The men at Promise Lodge all had occupations, and the boys were still in school. Except for Marlene, the other young women didn't show an aptitude for managing a store, or they had their own pursuits. And Marlene, who'd married Lester Lehman in May, would probably start a family soon. Dale had spoken to his fiancée, Irene Wicke, about wanting to retire in the future. And when he married her on July 19th, 2 weeks from today, he wanted to take her away for a few days. His future wife was a patient, practical woman, and she would understand if he couldn't leave his store. But as a middle-aged, self-sufficient bachelor who'd unexpectedly found the love of his life, Dale wanted some time away with Irene before they moved into their new home and resumed their routines. Irene deserved a honeymoon, and he was determined to give it to her. He'd considered closing the store while they went away, except that Marlene would valiantly insist she could run the place by herself. Dale believed she could, but he didn't want to subject her to the sheer exhaustion of helping customers in one part of the store while other shoppers waited for her at the checkout counter, not to mention restocking the shelves and checking in the deliveries. Dale's only alternative was sitting in front of him, trying to pass for the perfect solution to his problem. But did Isaac Chupp, with his checkered past and dubious attitude, pose an even bigger problem? "You've told me about clerking for your dad's auction company and running the sale barn's computer, Isaac," he said. "How do I know you won't manipulate the entries in my system, or sell some of my items online, and pocket the profits? A little here and a little there could add up to quite a nice sum over time." Isaac's blue-eyed gaze didn't waver. "You'd figure that out in a heartbeat, yeah? You're a savvy businessman, and you know your inventory like the back of your hand," he replied, without missing a beat.